Hey Johnny, what's up, bro? Elisa's
That's
in
my
the
favorite
chat.
one.
Oh yeah?
I think so.
Do we
That's
always
my
listen to
favorite
the
one.
same ones? I try to change it up.
No, no, no,
Elisa's
no,
in the
no, no,
chat.
no, no. I haven't heard that one in a while. That one I like. Like I like them all, but that one really, like I like that
If
one a
anybody
lot.
wonders, it's copyright free
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
music, so we play that because
because it's copyright free.
copyright free. Elisa says, "Hey guys, nice to see you have the chat back up."
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I
Last
don't
time
know
it,
why, but now it's standard to consider everybody who's starting a stream to be kids content unless they
kids
check
content. Yeah,
otherwise.
yeah, yeah. I wonder. They're always making the changes. Speaking of making changes, I have put on this shirt. I haven't worn this shirt, James, in a really long time, right? And it's because I lost a button here. I'm going to be honest, just forthcoming about it. I lost a button here, and I have like me getting a sewing kit to fix my button is so far down on my priority list that I haven't done it for a couple years. Like I have to do this, right? So anyway, I wore it because it's in honor of your they're crows, James. Like it's in honor of your crow flock in the backyard.
Oh, that was a
Remember?
while ago, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Sorry to
know, but
anybody who
have they left? Have they
I haven't seen
migrated
them.
beyond
I
your?
haven't seen them recently.
And also Petey, the censorship owl under his watch fly. I just sort of I have him always here, and so I kind of have a bit of a bird theme going on,
Love it.
and yeah, yeah.
I still
That's
don't have shelves behind me, but
I was thinking Petey could be a good album cover. Just Pete on a table.
yeah. Sorry to anybody who commented on any of the other platforms thus far. Um, I didn't have the multi-stream chat going, but I see Alistair here. Hey guys, good to hear you. Glad that you're able to comment again there, Alistair. Um, and let's start off here. Last week
What are you holding your mic for?
because it's like my desk is here.
It's like a
I don't
thing.
want
Oh,
I
sure,
don't want
sure,
to be
sure,
like
sure,
that.
sure, sure. Oh, yeah, it's kind of nice. It looks like chill, like just sitting there with the mic.
That's
It's
good.
good. Anyway,
I
didn't.
um
Yeah.
I had a dual monitor setup last week and I was feeling pretty good and it worked for a week, 1 week, and then
What?
now my TV just lost it on me. I
What?
don't know why.
What happened to your What happened to your TV,
I
James?
I was sitting I was sitting back in my chair a little bit. I might have my feet up on my desk. I don't know. And
Oh,
then
and you kicked
no,
it off or
Alistair,
something?
it's funny. I put the information in the way it's supposed to be and then it just doesn't. At least the kids thing. That's 9. I put 9 in. Update.
Update that.
It's working now. So thank you, Alistair. Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah. So,
And
what did you kick the
then
TV
all of
off
a
the desk,
sudden,
James?
I don't know if anybody's had this, but the bottom like third of my TV, there was a bunch of lines and it was like doubled. So I think it's just the screen issue. It's
Did it just
done.
fry? Like it just like the TV? Oh, like you mean the TV just like got distorted and stuff?
The
Like it didn't just
screen,
like go off. It won't turn on or something.
the screen just looks distorted. Yeah.
Oh wow.
You ever
Maybe
had
it's
that?
one of your cats. I've never had that happen to my TV.
I just like shook the desk a little bit.
I'm still rocking the same Sanyo 1080p flat screen TV, James, that I bought. I think I bought this TV in 2011 or 12 or something. Like it's
I
been
remember that
almost
one.
10 years. I bought it from a guy at Queens. I didn't know him. He was just up around the corner from where we lived. And he was like selling his TV on the sly. He didn't want his parents to find out because they just bought him this TV for Christmas, and it wasn't 3 months later. He was hawking this thing off because he wanted to buy a PlayStation.
Crazy.
And so I bought it for like $450 because it was like, because it's kind of like a used car. Like once it's,
Hmm.
or a car, or a new car. Like if once it's off the lot, it's worth half what it was worth when you, like
Right.
literally as you drive it off the lot.
Right.
Um, and so that was the thing. Like he sold me this TV, and I've
Yeah.
still been running this TV. I was just playing a little bit of Kingdom Rush on it on the
Nice.
Switch,
Nice.
and it's hanging in. So I'm sorry
I'm
about your
hoping.
TV, James.
Yeah, I'm hoping I did check. I mean, I can't check on the app that I have whether Facebook's working, but
Oh, I can check it.
it looks as though we have one
Facebook
person.
folks, comment if you're on Facebook, folks.
Um, no worries though. No
Yeah,
worries. It's
if
Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna see if I can find it on Facebook here.
Good,
So,
Alistair. Right on.
Facebook changed everything, man. Actually, they've changed everything, and I can't figure it out. I could never figure out Facebook before, but the changes every second week that they put out, yeah, I can't tell if it's streaming or not. This is the problem.
I would
All
just
right.
probably stop, John, because you literally can't operate like two things at
Oh yeah.
once.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got the ice packs under my computer, and I'll just leave it at that. So sorry for anybody if Facebook is down. Um, at least you can go to YouTube this week. Last week Facebook was the saving grace. This week it's YouTube and Twitch. There's always Twitch.
that's right. We need
So
yeah
Jamesy,
some
what are you gonna
help
do about your
from the
monitor
Twitch.
situation? Like we need you to get your monitor situation
Yeah,
fixed because I mean it was
I'll end up
making you
getting
happy.
something. We've been getting some gear. We've been setting
True.
up a bit of a setup at home here, eh, for
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah, we have been. It's been
I've I've
great
been
actually.
I've been I've been enjoying that. I've been enjoying that
James
process. I've been sitting at home messing with the stuff, trying to get used to it.
James got a streaming computer a few months ago, and we've got Ableton and Pro Tools running on them now on the computer now, and so we were just messing around. We've been messing around for the last week, throwing down some different songs and things like that we've been working on. So we are definitely in the process of something else. Everybody, for anybody out there who's excited about that, um, you'll get to hear something fairly soon. So we're just getting underway with the recording now. So we're having a lot of fun with it already. Um, so yeah, James, you've been digging that though, right? You've been plugging away at working Ableton.
Yeah, it's been good, and I've been working with some other software as well. But you know me, I'm not great at it, and it seems as though
You're good at it.
it seems as though Facebook is not working. It was though, and then I saw like a steady like a big drop off of people. It looked like people didn't it like cut out or something. So I'm not
Oh,
sure how to start that now, but is what it is. What it is. Just you and me, man. We call that. What do we call that? We call that for the boys. We call that when we're on.
right.
This is like one of
Okay.
those.
It's just, wait a minute. So that's right, because Facebook is where most people watch
We
us,
have a
like
lot of
the
people.
vast majority.
Yeah, a decent amount
We,
on there.
we got like maybe two on YouTube or something.
Yeah, we have a few. We have a
We
few.
got
But I'll
we got
say
a few.
Facebook is the general
Facebook.
is the main thing typically.
Facebook's the main hub. Facebook is the main hub. I got a notification that it was, but now that link doesn't work.
Hmm.
Thank you, Alistair, for the
Okay.
updates. I think you're the only one in here with us. Is anybody else on here?
Yeah, no, there's other folks. We
Good.
got
Awesome.
um. Let's see. Yeah, I don't even know at this point like how to start it without stopping stuff. So I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna keep
Yeah.
rolling.
Sure.
And yeah.
Maybe it's the Crows shirt, man. I wore the Crows shirt this week and I messed up Facebook.
Anyways,
Well,
um,
where we go.
so we what do we call it? Like we were talking about some of those shows, um, where there's like only a couple people in the crowd. We call that for the boys.
Yeah, for the
You want to
boys.
elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, there is a bit of it. Like, there's a background to that. So we were like we were the boys, like when we were on stage, right? And so we just kind of look at each other, and we always look at our band, and if there's only like a couple people in the crowd, and it really feels like an empty room, we kind of just say, well, it's one for the boys tonight. Maybe just it's one for ourselves tonight. And actually, there's a really good. I didn't realize. I just watched the "Beer Never Broke My Heart" Luke Combs video the other day,
Mm-hmm.
which it's a great song. Like, it's such a like solid country song. I know we were jamming to it a couple years ago when it came out, James. And I just watched the music video for it. I don't know if you had seen it or not, but it's really awesome. It's the classic situation. He's like in front of two people in a bar, and no, like, there's not, like, it's completely empty, and then they play this song, and it builds, and the crowd gets bigger, and oh yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, people are gathering, and then at the end, like, the whole twist is, yeah, there was nobody there, like, all along. It was just like the vibe they were feeling. It's the actual definition of "for the boys" in a music video. You got to watch it, because he makes a joke at the end. He has this sarcastic thing where he's like, oh man, you guys were all so lively out there. Just like, it's the funniest, weirdest little humor moment
Really?
at the end. It made me laugh out loud twice, like, I was watching it. So
That makes me think of the time
definitely
when
worth it.
we were over in England, and I think you mentioned this like several podcasts ago, but where there was nobody down at the bottom of that one pub we were playing.
Oh
And then
yeah.
we opened the window, but also got people to go upstairs because the upstairs was like it was bumping because it was like a popular after work spot for people, right? But we
Well,
were
that
down in this little place underneath, and I think it was called the Slaughtered Lamb, right?
that's right. Yeah, yeah. In Clerkenwell.
And hey, Amy, thanks for jumping in here. And they had the weirdest sign behind us too when we were playing, didn't it?
Oh
Remember they
yeah.
had this
It
light up like Satan.
was like a pentacle, an upside down pentacle, which is like a Satanist. Uh, it's like a Satanist symbol, and we're singing like gospel music.
Well,
Just
I
like
figured out at
just a
some no no
total
no no no
nonsense.
no. See, it
It
was
was
actually
awesome.
interfering with our sound that symbol.
It was.
So, but we were also I was looking for a way to turn it off.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Um,
No, that's right. You turned it off. Yeah,
with
because
all
it was
due
like this
respect
bright
to
red pentangle. Like it literally looked like a death metal video. And so we were singing this gospel, like country, all these, and so it was a total like like you had like the Dante like seven rings of hell, like classic Greek struggle like going on, heaven and hell struggle happening in the basement of this pub in Clerkenwell. And then the other thing that was funny was that was like the biggest lesson. And this is actually, I think we have told this story at Big Church Day Out, but for anybody who watches us at this festival that we play in England, and we have a lot of our England fans that watch us on this show, um, that was one of the best lessons that we ever learned when it comes to performing. James and I, we always try and put 100%, 110% into our performances, no matter how many people are in the crowd. Like it might be a couple people and it might be, thousands of people, but we always say, well, this one might be for us. This one's a for the boys night. But that means like get up there, have your best time ever and enjoy it and perform like you leave everything on the stage. And this
Mhm.
particular night, we actually specifically only had about, I think it was about 12 people maybe. And it was a room meant for way more people than that. And at the back of the room was the guy who started and promotes and books Big Church Day Out, this massive festival in Southern England. And he came up to us after and said, do you guys want to think about coming and playing at our festival? And so if we hadn't have played that show, if we had said, or maybe
Yeah.
if we hadn't put all our effort into it,
We told. I remember
that's the way it goes.
telling that this bit of it, but I didn't remember. I didn't necessarily remember if we stressed the fact that it was the same place where there wasn't many people there, and then
Yeah,
we opened up the windows, and then they all started flooding down, kind of like what you're talking about with the
that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Tina
yeah. Where we opened the
Tina
floodgates.
Tina Abrams
It
is
was
in
the same place.
here. She's on YouTube this week. She says yes. Hello, happy Monday. No, Facebook is not working. So I mean,
Okay,
I
thanks for the
literally do
update,
the
guys.
same thing every week, so I feel bad.
Well,
But it's
Facebook
like,
changed stuff, man. So it may
yeah,
be it may
if
be
this,
like they literally changed stuff last week. So it
yeah.
may be some
So
weird kind of like plug-in thing. But in any event, we'll upload this to Facebook after, that's for sure,
thanks,
and
Alistair.
everybody can
And
jump in and
I don't want to keep talking about it because then it's like we're not talking about anything else, unfortunately. Yeah, no, if that happens from week to week, I feel terrible, but it's kind of
we'll
unfortunately I
sort it out.
can't like
Hey, man,
fix it while I'm going.
we have done well
Yeah,
with the
good.
tech thus far
Yeah,
as compared to last season, last year, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
that was a whole other ball game. We gotta stay positive and encouraged, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
And on that note, I am getting pretty excited about spring. It feels like spring is coming. Things are melting, but things are also freezing, but melting. Do you know what I mean? It's getting slippery, which is a good sign. Not a good sign, but a good sign that we're headed toward warmer
Oh,
weather.
kind of because we when we started this podcast, it was kind of back. I guess it was about spring. Is that
Right.
why you're? Yeah.
That's right. No. I mean, like,
That's,
oh no, I was saying, no. Why was I? It had a connection. I promised it had a connection to what we were saying.
uh,
Um,
Amy says
no,
she
no, no,
loves your
no, no.
shirt
Oh,
with the
thanks. I
birds.
appreciate that. That's awesome.
Right.
No, I'll watch this video back. There was a proper connection there. I just can't remember what we were talking about before. But anyway, refreshing spring coming up, and
Yeah. No,
I
I'll tell you what. It's I'm ready for it. I don't know how many folks we got from Ontario in here right now with us because we have a few we know from overseas. But whenever it starts getting, that just dirty snow starts coming around, you just got to get rid of it.
Oh,
You just
rough,
got
eh?
to get rid of it, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's also doing the
Terrible.
thing where all of the shoveling that I did throughout the year is just now in vain. Like it's not even worth anything because as close to the ground as you can shovel down. I mean, there's always a little bit of a layer of snow that sort of ends up getting sort of walked on enough that it gets packed down, kind of becomes part of the walkway. And when that melts and flash freezes at night, like it's a skating rink in our backyard.
You
I
got to
can't
get
even
on it,
walk
John.
through
You
the
got to
fire.
get out there and
No,
do
I
it.
have been, and James, I have been out every time it snows. I've been out there just making sure. Now, not the driveway. I admit the driveway is pretty rough.
I almost slipped on my
Um,
way into your place the other day,
but all the
carrying the
pathways.
gear.
Well, that was after the mountain freeze. Like all the pathways, I all winter have been trying to. I had like a carved out, like because the snow was this deep, carved out path to that fire at the back that we have to keep going for the heat in our house, and it was nice. And now it's all gone. And it's mud in some spots and ice in some spots. But I'm choosing to look at the optimistic side of that, and that's spring's coming, and so spots. But all the things that come with spring and summer are good things.
Yeah. Sorry for little audio things. I'm just messing around with stuff, trying to see if I can poke around, fix things. But particularly when it gets like this kind of weather, and you've been getting into it more, but is I kind of feel like, and I'm not a golfer, but I feel like, especially with COVID and whatnot, it's like one of those things you can do. It's just like skiing, like we are talking about, like how the ski hills were packed. Those
Oh
sorts
yeah.
of activities are just as popular as ever because it's like one of the main things you can do.
Well, it's wide open
Um,
spaces, right?
so I kind of just around this year, and it was similar when we were back in middle school, high school. I'd take just the worst clubs out into the yard, and just pretend work on my short game in the front yard of the farm, and
Oh
just
yeah, right.
look like people would drive by, and then when someone was going by, I'd make sure that I really looked like I was really paying attention and
Oh
dialed
yeah,
into
yeah,
to working on something. A little slice here and a little
yeah, yeah, for sure,
checking the
for sure.
wind,
Yeah.
little
No, the
finger.
like whacking golf balls around the house and kicking soccer balls around the house too. I remember
Oh my
just
goodness.
nailing, just you and I playing soccer out in front of our farm and just nailing the soccer ball as hard as I could. I think I yelled, I yelled before I kicked it too. I yelled FIFA World Cup and nailed the soccer ball and
Yeah,
hit the
well,
window so hard it smashed the giant, like the big front farm windows
I
that
wish I had a
everybody sees
picture,
on the road.
but they're
I
big,
wish we had
big
a picture of that.
windows, like
Like big,
big.
like not inexpensive to replace.
Yeah,
Like,
because they're kind of like that old style. Like, 'cause
yeah,
I guess basically
like
when the house was
multi-pane.
built, I'm
Yeah,
assuming that when the house was built, which it's like 150 years old.
1833. 1833 is the farm. Yeah,
So there you go. So it's
it's crazy.
closer to 200
200 years
years
old.
than
Yeah,
150, or than yeah,
yeah. We were rounding up to 200 though when we were
200.
kids. In like, do you
So
remember like in
yeah,
like the year 2003, we
yeah,
were like, yeah, it's 200 years old.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, 1833.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
you're definitely rounding hard there, but
Well, we would use the
no.
one side of the house as like the net, right? And
Yes. It was between well, I
which
mean,
is
we're
so
setting ourselves up
dumb.
for failure because
We'd
we would
use the
use the
big
two
windows
windows as the
as the
goal.
posts, as the posts, and you just had to
So,
score
it,
or go
well, if
and
you
like
hit a
really
poster, you're
miss.
hitting the window, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You had to really miss or you had to score.
yeah, that's
Or
true.
make it like someone made a save and then it would deflect out,
Yeah. The other
which was
spring
fun.
activity that I used to love, and speaking of middle school, I used to love when the snow would kind of melt a little bit, but not really fully.
Yeah.
And all of the snow banks, like the snow plows, and for all of, we hate to isolate our American fans who are out here listening to us, but when we get a lot of snow in Canada, the snow plows come in and the trucks with the plows in the front push all the snow up into big snow banks. And in the schoolyard, these banks would get to be like mountainous. Like, I mean, they would be some of them, like, because they just get pushed up and piled up over the year. They'd be like, some of them 15 feet, 20 feet high, and you're like a little kid. It's basically like, it looks like the Misty Mountains in Lord of the Rings. And so we would dig tunnel forts. And the best time was sort of when it was getting a little bit warmer and the snow was super packy. You could really hollow out these tunnels so that they were really slippery. And it was literally like Lord of the Rings, like in the or like Mines of Moria, or like Shelob's lair, kind of had this like really like tunneled out thing. And we used to have I was thinking about this the other
The
day.
tunnels were cool.
I was
It's
thinking about
quite
the
the
fact that
description.
tunnel forts are
There's
like
no
a
way people do them.
microcosm, just it's like a micro-sized version of societies, where, because I remember being the guy who, one day you're running the fort and you're the king of the fort or whatever, and then somebody usurps you because they kind of get the popularity, like the survivor, like of the other people in the fort.
Wow.
And then, yeah, and then they kick you out. Did you ever get this? And then, or you say, you know what, I'm done with you guys,
I
and
know,
then
I
you go
kind
to
of
a
know what you're
rival
saying.
fort,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
then you
think
work your
school
way
in
up.
general is like a little mini society.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
like just getting you. The main thing for elementary school is like getting you ready for how you have to interact with other people and society
Yeah.
basically.
But it was like amplified with these forts
Deadlines
because,
and
and I often thought,
you
like,
learn to
how did
read.
we,
You learn to
how do we,
read and you learn to do
yes,
math, but
math. Reading and
but
math are the most
there's a lot
important
of stuff
things.
that like most of us don't recall, right?
Yes. But as long as you can read and write and, understand math well enough, you've kind of got elementary school down pat, and then the rest is social.
Wow.
It's like, wow. So I mean, I made it out. I definitely worked my way up to the top in a bunch of those forts, and man, it was
There's no way they let them do
those
that
are the
now.
glory days. Those, I don't know, but it's got to be a
And I
safety
don't
thing.
know if people really can understand exactly what we're saying, but it was like an anthill. There were so many little tunnels
Yes, yeah,
and really dangerous. I mean, if it gets later in the season and the thing and it falls on top of a kid or
yeah. You
something,
have like
it would,
10 feet of snow
yeah, the
on
child
top of these
couldn't
tunnels.
breathe. Like it would be terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure
But
that
boy, it was fun.
it was fun. There's no way
Um,
that they let kids do that now.
but circling back to the golf stuff, no, there's no way. Um, it makes me think that of how this. I guess it was this week. It was the 25th anniversary of Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah,
Does
golfing.
any let us know in the
This is
chat
what
if
started this
anybody's watched
conversation.
Happy Gilmore in the chat. It's honestly that era of Adam Sandler is like my favorite. I love so many movies from that era, but particularly Happy
I love
Gilmore. That
that
was
movie.
probably the first one of his that I watched. Obviously
Shooter
Billy
McGavin.
Madison. Billy
Shooter
McGavin, yeah,
McGavin.
but Billy Madison was another
Billy Madison. Yeah.
awesome one from that. What an interesting, unique idea from that time,
So
from
funny. I
that
thought
era of
about
his
Billy
work.
Madison yesterday. That's
Yeah.
weird.
He was fresh off Saturday Night Live, and then he basically, I don't know. You know what's a weird one that I just thought of the other day was Little Nicky. Now talking about
Oh,
like,
that's a weird one. Heaven and Hell.
when we're talking about heaven and hell, the sort of Satan symbol that behind us
Yeah.
in that bar,
I don't
like
think
he's basically the son of the devil, right? And he's got
that's what
his two brothers come looking for him.
he's
'Cause
wearing, like a puffy down-filled coat. I don't know.
yeah, and
I think it's because up
he's in
top he's
Manhattan.
cold. That's why.
Right.
What? That's why. That's why. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he going Manhattan? Is that where he is?
Yeah, he's wheeling around Manhattan. His two devil big brother kids, his two brothers that are the sons of the devil, come looking for him because he escaped hell or
Right.
something.
Right.
It's just absurd. And you know what? The rating is really bad for it.
Really bad.
I
Yeah.
thought that it was maybe like liked that movie, but Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
There's this funny clip, we can pull it up in a minute, of Adam Sandler doing that famous swing from that movie, and he still has it. It looks like the ball, he hits it pretty good.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I got this.
I'd love
I
to
got
see
this
this
clip.
Oh, the Bob Barker Adam Sandler fight is
awesome.
also great.
Awesome. Speaking of that, I have this. I was gonna put it on. For the movie's sake, I didn't. All my jerseys are tucked away, but I got this.
Oh yes.
My Bruins sweater out. I debated wearing it, but I thought it was just one of the segments. So why?
Yeah,
because
Happy's like this. He's wearing a Bruins jersey in every single scene.
It's awesome.
It's
so
awesome.
funny. It's like what an interesting idea to
yeah.
to do that in the movie.
Like
Like
if you were
I would
ever,
love to know why. Obviously it fits because
yeah,
he's from there, but and he comes from. I guess it fits with the story. Yeah, it fits with the story. I guess that's why.
I bet if you're gonna
Um,
do, have you ever seen minimalist posters of movies online? For anybody who
no.
hasn't, just check them out on Google Images, like minimalist movie posters or ultra minimalist movie
Been
posters.
25.
Basically, they're just like a simple poster that just has one element from the movie that's super like, and you just know, oh, that's that movie.
Yeah.
The minimalist poster for Happy Gilmore would have to be the Boston Bruins jersey, I think.
True.
Because the golf tee could be anything, like a ball could be
I'll
anything,
pull
but
those up
just
in
the
I'll pull
Bruins
those up
jersey.
in a second. I haven't seen those. It'd be interesting to see. Um, Adam Sandler recreates Happy Gilmore golf swing.
It's been 25 years since I've done this.
Adam Sandler is celebrating the 25th anniversary of his blockbuster hit Happy Gilmore.
So young.
He's dusting off his driver and recreating that famous swing.
Pretty good.
Man,
You dead, shooter?
And what about Happy Gilmore's arch nemesis, Shooter McGavin?
Let's get one thing straight. This is Shooter's tour.
Let's see if it's Shooter's tour.
Looks like the battle is still on.
oh, they're doing it.
Money. Shooter. Still got it. Well, thank you to all the fans, and thank you to you, Adam Sandler. And why don't you just meet me at the 9th green at 9, Gilmore? Little secret of code.
And I'm not lying to you. That is smashed. Smashed.
So
That's
good.
awesome.
So
I didn't
good.
realize that. What's his name? The actor who plays Shooter. No, McDonald. I think his last name. I can't check on my computer because, of course, it's gonna mess up my video. But
I'll pull it up.
anyway, I feel bad that I don't remember his name. But
Fine.
anyway,
Christopher
um,
McDonald. Sorry,
Christopher
yeah,
McDonald.
Christopher
Chris
McDonald.
McDonald. Yeah, Christopher
McDonald.
McDonald. And
Um,
yeah, no, that is I think I think probably I've seen that film maybe like 12 times. Like
Yeah, yeah.
really 12 times maybe. I don't know.
That's
It's been
awesome.
a lot of times. It's one of those you can just quote.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alistair. Alistair said, I've shared the link for YouTube on last week's Facebook stream. Hopefully others will find their way here. Tina says, it's all good. Got you here. Right on. Amy says, you should see James stream. He's a pro. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Aliza, happy Monday. Tina, oh, she's communicating with Tina. She's not talking to us. Okay, that's good. I love it. Love that
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Sorry, I didn't read it before I said it. Amy says, I can't tell if that wow is a legit wow or a sarcastic one anymore. It's definitely in the movie. It's
No, it's always sincere.
It's
It tends to
sincere,
be sincere.
but I play it like in a way that's like wow, like yeah, like
There are actually
sarcastic.
very few times I think that Owen Wilson says "wow" sarcastically.
Yeah, I don't think
Except
there's a lot.
there are ones like at the end of Wedding Crashers when Bradley Cooper, who's like the nemesis in that movie, which is so funny, gets up and he's all like really imposing and like yelling at her to get back up at the altar or whatever, and like he's sort of like trying to spill his heart out. Owen Wilson's trying to spill his heart out for Rachel McAdams, and then he says, "Wow," and this definitely he says, "Wow, looks like a little picture of what your marriage to Ike Turner is going to look like here." That's the line, and that's the only sarcastic "wow" I can think of that Owen Wilson uttered. But other than
Nice.
that, it's always like, "Wow."
Nice. Amy says, John, have you seen the clips of Milo photobombing James streams? No, I have to.
No.
I should clip one of those, and although Amy might have, and I can pull it
Admittedly,
up.
I
But
hadn't- I
let's
hadn't
go
seen
to
that.
React here for a minute. Amy might link
There's
that.
the minimalist posters right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna look through them. Nico says, "Hey guys, this is my favorite day of the week, and I don't know if it's
Thanks,
because
Nico.
watching us, but I'm assuming that's why you'd be putting it
Well,
in the
we
chat.
hope we make Mondays a little better for people. 'Cause Mondays are
Hopefully, I
usually
mean,
people's least
you
favorite day.
you make my Monday for being in here, so thank you, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate that,
Nico.
buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you being on here.
Tina says, funny movie, love that all his music is 80s music. I know the music in all
That's so
those
true.
that era And Adam Sandler must have had something to do with it because I'm sure he was working with different directors and
I think so.
whatnot. But
Well, and since
he
I mean,
direct.
since
He
that
didn't
movie,
know.
he's been the executive,
Oh,
the
okay.
producer of everything. He doesn't direct, but he's like he produced it. They're his movies, right? It's kind of like Tom Cruise. Like
Closes.
Tom Cruise's movies are Tom Cruise's movies, and different directors direct. Yeah, I actually that's a great question because they're always like 80s or 70s, like that Adam Sandler or sorry, that Happy Gilmore soundtrack. It's like
Yeah.
filled with like the best classic like 70s rock and 80s rock. It's so
I
good.
know, it's amazing. I mean, I was exposed to a bunch of that stuff because of those movies. To be honest, I think probably
Actually,
Leonard
that's true.
Skinner.
That's true.
I didn't know of them before I watched those movies as a kid.
Well, and we were
Or the
particularly
band,
influenced
sorry.
by 80s rock for our last record and if you listen to songs like
And I guess Leonard
Reminder
Skinner was in the 80s, right?
yeah, well, they were through the 80s, but mainly 70s, but
Yeah.
70s and 80s. Like
Yeah, it
he
was
has like
70s, yeah.
Kansas on there. He's got
Yeah.
all kinds of different acts like AC/DC, like, and he has a lot of 80s stuff as well. But like
Anyways,
Pilot.
yeah.
Ho ho ho, it's magic.
Yeah. Or
you
David Bowie.
know.
David Bowie and
David
Mr.
Bowie, yeah,
Deeds.
for sure.
Pilot,
but like
the ground control or whatever.
those songs
That's a good one.
definitely influenced us for like if you listen to the actual song, not just the album Reminder, but the song, the title track, that there's a lot of 80s rock in that and a number of different tracks on that record.
These
So
are
yeah,
really cool, John. I've never seen this.
You never
And,
seen minimalist posters?
No, I like them. I think it's
If
cool.
you look up ultra minimalist posters too, it's like
Oh my God.
really
No, we're not
it's
doing it.
really just you're not gonna do that.
That's too far. That's too much. No, I don't.
Too far. But it's kind of like if there's one little element from a movie that you were to pick and put on a poster, that's what it is, right? So for me, I think the Happy Gilmore, it's got to be the like what's the like the probably the Boston Bruins jersey or like
What is this?
these are
Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. So there's just a
yeah, okay.
There's just a
There you go.
crown.
Yeah. These
seems
are very far.
A little extreme.
Like that's Mandalorian, I'm gonna guess.
Rosemary's Baby.
No, Rosemary Baby. Okay, so it looks like a bonnet. Which one's that one?
Oh, it looks like a baby thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, baby, like a baby bassinet. Bassinet, not a bonnet.
What'd you call it?
Wait, isn't it called a bassinet? Like
I
one
thought
of
you
those
said
old
a bonnet. Isn't a bonnet on your head?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I misspoke. I think it's bassinet.
What's
I think
this
that's
one?
what those are.
Interstellar.
Or carriage.
Like wheat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
a
good.
spaceship.
I like that.
Home Alone. That's good. I like this.
That's good. The paint. See, this
That's
is a perfect example.
That's a good one.
Just the paint cans. Like
These
what
are
other
too
movie
much.
does that
like,
happen
what is
in?
this? Midnight and that's just too little. That's too minimalist.
That's just I don't like that one.
Jaws.
Which one's that? Jaws.
That's fine, I guess. The Matrix. What? What's
Oh,
this?
the bending the spoons. Well, it should be a spoon, not a fork and knife. Maybe there's something to do with the fork.
Titanic, iceberg. Okay. I think I like the non-ultra.
Non-ultra. I don't like. Yeah, I forgot the ultra ones were not as good.
No, I just think it's too extreme.
Too much.
Extreme.
People have spent time though
Thank you,
on those,
Amy.
James,
Check one of
and you
these.
should. Well, not very long. Clearly, they didn't spend very long on them because they're like 3 lines.
A minimal amount of time. A minimal amount of time, John.
Spent a minimal amount of time on those minimalist posters. But anyway, so
here we go. We're gonna see some first time Fortnite content on the stream here.
What's
Unity
this?
Everett. I don't know.
Ooh.
But there I am.
What is this?
Look
you?
at Milo. Look at Milo.
This is your stream?
Yeah.
Your other stream? That's funny. He looks like the cat from the
Stream
Wellerman
in the
video.
mornings, if anybody's interested. Okay. Mainly Amy, Alistair, Wolves.
Oh, James,
buddy
you're really
Wolves.
good, eh?
Not really. Not in this scene. I'm just trying to save myself with this fire. But it's Milo's.
Yeah. But he looks
Look
like
at
the
him,
cat. Yeah, he looks like the Wellerman cat.
Oh, and the head jam. Yeah.
That's great.
It's
Milo's
I think it's
sweet.
the light.
I love Milo.
It's the light.
So
He was
cute.
interested in the light. Oh, there's more. Oh, my personal favorite. Amy's got more. I love this, Amy. You just keep feeding us stuff here.
Yeah.
Great.
Amy can feed us content for the rest of the
There we
episode.
go.
It's great.
See. Okay, apparently. So we'll watch this and then we'll move on.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
That's a
you see
good
his
one.
look at the end?
Good luck. Good luck.
That's a vibe right there.
Yeah, very good.
That's a
Very
vibe.
good. He's kind of like, what are you doing? That's great.
But one other thing this week that happened. Just we'll move on from golf because I don't know how many people are as dialed in on the golf thing as we are or interested of golf. But there was a terrible accident with Tiger Woods. Did you hear about
yeah,
that?
car accident, right?
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah. So what
I
happened? Is he still in the
feel
hospital?
for him? And he went right into surgery, and then
I bet. Man, that's terrible. I remember seeing something, but I've been off the news because I'm a news addict. Like I'm a
what is it?
news
It's Lent,
scrolling
huh?
news addict, and yeah, and I decided this year because Lent, I'm like, I'm not usually very good at doing anything Lent wise, but I thought, you know what, this year I'm gonna stop scrolling through the news. That's a good thing to give up, and so I don't know anything that's
Oh, this was
happening.
on February 23rd. But apparently he spoke to the media or on his social media or something. So I think he's doing
He's
okay now.
okay, yeah. Well, he's on his way out.
But
That's good. Man,
the
that would have
car,
been
I don't want to necessarily pull up the car, but the car was just completely wrecked.
a miracle he's alive. It's I mean,
Crazy.
can you believe it's
He's had a
it's
couple accidents. It's
a
tough.
little over a year
What?
ago that Kobe Bryant died too.
Oh yeah.
A little over a year. It was or maybe it was about a year ago because it was around it was the day of whenever the Oscars was. I think it was that day. I can't remember when if the Oscars were right around now. I think so.
And the
Yeah,
Grammys are coming up, aren't they? It's all award
something.
season
It's
now,
all
isn't
the
it?
thing. Yeah, right. Because we
Because
had
I
the Golden Globes.
also saw, yeah, I was told about the Gold. Did you watch any of these or no? Do you watch the Golden Globes?
I watched some of the highlights from the Golden Globes. I didn't watch it in real time, but some like real. I was happy to see some love thrown over to the Crown because I was really
Yeah.
enamored with this season of the Crown. Emma Corrin playing Diana and Josh O'Connor playing Charles. Now he played Charles last season as well, I think. But man, like they just are so amazing to watch on screen. Like Emma Corrin was 100% Diana, like in front of just the way that she held her head, the way that she talked, like it was just she completely embodied the character. And same with Josh O'Connor playing Charles. So that was really cool. And there was a really poignant moment too. I particularly like the moment that Chadwick Boseman he won Best Actor in a Drama, and his wife delivered
He passed
a
away.
speech posthumously for him, and so it was pretty obviously very poignant to watch that. But yeah, no, it was an interesting year.
Um, Kyla had told me about she watched that show, The Queen's Gambit, and
Me too. Yeah,
people seem to enjoy that.
I loved it. It was really good.
But I didn't realize he was filmed in Ontario.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where was it filmed in
And
Ontario?
it won some awards, either London or Guelph.
Wow.
It said,
That's
so.
wow. That's actually
Yeah.
awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I thought and Soul, you watched Soul,
Yeah. Soul Pixar, right?
Pixar. I thought it was pretty good, and I felt
One for
like
animated.
the. Should I talk about this? I think you tried to get me to talk about this before.
Yeah. So what was it about Soul that you didn't like? What was it? What was it that was a detractor for you? Maybe you liked it. Was
I think
a
there was
detractor?
just too many story elements. There's the narrative for the amount of time that they had. It was like
Sure.
that you could have had like I felt like it was more there was just too many layers. I feel like it was a bit
Sure.
rushed
It
in
felt it
terms
was
of
trying to pack in a little
development.
bit too much all
Yeah.
at once.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
very cool going to the different realm and whatever, but
Right.
just
Right.
for like the hour and a half or however long it is, it was just very. I also maybe it's just a selfish thing, but I kind of just really liked the beginning vibe of the jazz teacher and playing the
Yes.
performance. I kind of wanted that to be fleshed out a little more And
Yeah, a little bit more of jazz culture and like diving into that a little bit more rather
and
than
then
kind of
maybe there's a part 3/4 through where he goes to this place and comes back.
like the
Um,
ethereal
and then it would have
realm
made
or
it. You
whatever.
know, the other thing is that if they did that, it would have made it more different from Inside Out. And it was
Right,
a little
which was
bit too.
fantastic.
Yeah, and it
I
was a
loved Inside
little.
Out.
And I don't know if it was intentionally this way, but it was a little similar to Inside Out in terms of um just this kind of other world kind of thing with the not necessarily that the animated characters are exactly the same, but it had some similarities. I think it could
Sure.
have differentiated itself a little more if that was not like 3/4 of the movie.
I really like the
But
way
it was great.
that it dealt with death and some of those really difficult that
Yeah.
stuff. Like I
No,
thought,
in
and
general, it's
that's
great. I just felt like it
Pixar
was,
tends to be
yeah,
good
they're
with
good with
that.
that stuff.
There's also, and I won't dwell too much more on movies, but worthwhile watching. The Dig on Netflix.
I started it, yeah.
Oh man, like Alex and I just watched it all like I think it was last night or night before last night, and oh man, like beautiful film, like really beautiful, and deals with a lot of those different layers as well, and a really cool true story about finding this ancient like Anglo-Saxon ship
Right.
on this property underneath these burial mounds, and it's right before World War II is going to break out, and so there's all kinds of stuff it deals with in the film. And Ray Fiennes, who played Voldemort, he played Amon Goeth in Schindler's List. He's a very good villain. He plays like completely the opposite of
Very
that, and
likable
he
guy.
just embodies this character so well. So definitely worth a watch. Yeah, so I mean, but I guess it's worthwhile talking about movies. It is movie award season, and I think The Dig should get some love next
Yeah,
year.
well,
I would like to see that.
there's a few topics that we've established that are interests of ours, and it's like we're gonna probably talk about them on a semi-regular basis. So
Right,
the way she
right,
goes.
for sure.
But those are kind of the
Also,
main winners that I was interested in. Um, not that I wasn't interested in other ones. I can also pull this up and can dig into a couple more, but you basically didn't watch what you're saying.
no, no, no. I mean, I didn't sit there
Catherine
and watch
O'Hara
the whole
won.
thing.
Catherine O'Hara won
Right,
for the
that's
Creek
great.
Show.
Oh, for yeah, Schitt's Creek,
Yeah.
so good, so good.
Um,
She's absolutely amazing.
yeah, The Crown. Josh O'Connor. Emma Corrin won The Crown.
Yeah,
Queen's Gambit. Yeah, Queen's Gambit, The Crown. Like those are the main.
yeah, big ones. Well,
Best
those are
television
TV.
series was the Creek Show.
Oh, it's awesome. Alistair's saying worth a visit to Sutton Hoo if you're ever in. Alistair, I will. So the dig is about the Sutton Hoo excavation that happened,
Okay.
and I absolutely will. It's just south of London, so it's actually on the way, pretty much on the way down toward, as if we were going to go down
Big Church.
toward Big Church. So I'd love to stop in and see that because it's what a great story, really great story. So yeah, I didn't watch the Golden Globes, but the Golden Globes is kind of the beginning. Here we are. We're almost we're getting to Oscar stuff, and completely
That's
sort of going
basically it.
backwards here a little bit. Alex and I are working on overhauling our garden. Speaking of spring coming into play here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna demolish our old garden, and we're gonna build 4 new garden boxes. And I wanted to ask you, James, because you did gardening in a significant way. You
Yes, I'm
helped
a
manage.
professional gardener.
James is a professional gardener. Well, you managed the Robinson Community Garden that our dad and Bernie Robinson started. Why don't you tell us about that a little bit?
I'm just I'm an incredible gardener. There's really not much more to say about it.
Wow.
No, but I mean the project.
Nope.
What I mean, tell us about the Robinson project.
It's a great. I think I did. I had mentioned it last season, but it was a project by a man named Bernie Robinson in the area where we grown up, Ontario, and he and our dad initially started or came up with this idea to want to grow fresh vegetables for meal programs in our city. So it was a charitable thing where they were giving all these vegetables to these programs for no charge, and it was basically they just had to come and pick them up. And I did that. It was back like 20. I think I started in 2013 through
Yeah, it's
20.
a while ago.
Yeah, 15 or 15 something.
I just
Or
remember
12.
you
It could have been
working
2012.
because James managed the garden and all the volunteers that worked
Yeah, it was
there,
great. Loved it.
and James, you were
All
a
summer.
proper farmer for that summer. Like you were
Yeah.
up at like
Oh,
before
several
dawn.
summers, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, a few summers, but I just remember the first summer I mean, you were the same capacity, but it was so wild because you were up at like before dawn out there working from dawn until dark in the middle of summer, which was like a really long time. And
Yeah.
you'd be back really, really late. And I was going to ask you though, when you guys did the garden, or when you were kind of doing the planning, have you ever heard of companion planting? That's something that Alex has just discovered from a book she got, and we're going to try and do a better garden this year than last year.
Oh yeah,
Have you ever heard of that?
companion planting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah, so it's like
it's
putting
like
plants together that
sorry, go ahead.
well, it's just putting plants together that
Three
thrive off
sisters
one another.
method, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you've heard of the
Oh,
three sisters
definitely,
method.
yeah. Three
Yeah.
sisters.
So
Yeah.
the
Corn, like beans, squash,
yeah.
mutual beneficial,
Yeah, so it's the Native American farming societies came up with this.
Wow.
It's brilliant. And the Three Sisters method, I think it comes from a legend, Native American legend.
I just so people know, I played the WoW because I actually have never heard of this, so
Wow, that was really good.
I just
That was really
Googled
good.
it. If you can watch my hands,
Did
I
you just
Googled
Google
it.
it? Did you just was the first thing you found? So here's an example of companion planting for anybody who's getting into gardening.
Sounds
So
great.
corn, pole beans, and squash go really well together because the corn, obviously grows up straight, and then pole beans grow up along with the corn. So they use the corn stalks as support, and then the squash covers the ground for the corn and keeps it shaded so that the moisture doesn't burn off the top of the soil, and so it keeps the moisture in the soil for the corn. So there's a number of different like pods of plants, vegetables. Not that's just one example, but vegetables that work really well together. So we're gonna try and thrive our garden better by doing companion planting. Well, look at this
Makes
Japanese
sense. That
style
makes sense to
companion
me.
planting,
Makes sense to
and
me.
and it actually it was sort of like the talk of our house this week, doing these
Yeah.
garden companion
I'm very
planting
surprised that nobody
things.
brought this up to me, like, because there is the old school gardeners that they know
Oh yeah, they
different
know.
things, right?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
I I I heard a lot of different tips, so I'm very
When you were working
surprised.
there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and obviously I had no clue, so I just
everybody,
take
everybody
anybody's
had a
tips. But
everybody had an opinion.
everybody's got opinions on gardening. It's one of those things. It's like when we're talking about golf, it's like they might be the
So
worst
true.
golfer, but they hit one shot and they turn to you and they go, "Oh, I think you gotta just open up your hips a little bit more. Or you gotta
Yeah.
follow through this way,
Yeah.
whatever."
Weekend experts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's funny. Armchair
I was
expert.
happy to hear I was happy to hear all the tips and whatever. But here you go. I learned another tip. It's like
Well, look
gardening
at that.
tips are
Well,
endless.
let you know how it goes, but this book says it.
I'm sure
So
it's great. Honestly, that makes sense to me,
okay, but companion stuff.
like biologically.
I hope that you put these into the Dropbox thing, the pictures I sent you. Um,
All about
did you
companions.
did you put those pictures in?
Yeah, there was two pictures, but they look the same to me.
Well, no, they were just no, they're two different pictures of the same thing, basically.
Okay.
So
Which one do
Alex
you want
brought
first? The
it
post
doesn't
first?
matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, the one where they're looking away from no, the other
Look
one.
at me. Look at me, dude. I'm a pro streamer here.
Okay.
Dialed up.
This is the most heartwarming thing. I'm not usually a sucker for um every little news feed thing, but this one Alex brought to my attention, and um these are two penguins that this guy a German photographer named Tobias Baumgartner, I think his last name is. I may have messed that up, but anyway, he just won an award, a few international awards for this photo that was taken this year. These are two penguins on St. Kilda Beach in Melbourne, Australia, and a photographer captured them in this moment. Tobias, this photographer, captured them, and then he learned he was sort of returning, and he learned from the local volunteers in the area. I think they must volunteer with something having to do with the penguins. That the grape-colored penguin on the right-hand side is actually an elderly female penguin who lost her partner this year, because I think these penguins are like monogamous, or they mate for life. Like a number of birds, like albatrosses, they do that. That, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that was the case here. And so the partner on the left, so she lost her partner. The penguin on the left, the black penguin, is a younger male penguin who also lost his partner recently. And the two of them returned to this spot to meet regularly, just to watch the lights of the city together. And it's the most heartwarming thing
This
I
isn't
can
real.
think of.
Come on.
No, it is. It is real. Like, it's a legit photographer. It's not just like one of those like, ad clickbait things. It was actually like, this is, I got this from BBC, reported on it. And so the volunteers in the area actually have, who work with the penguins, they know us. And these penguins return all the time and comfort each other. They appear to comfort each other anyway. But this, like, look at that picture. Isn't that the best? And then look at the next one. There's just another angle of the old one on the right, just sort of like, oh, head on the shoulder. That is what love songs are made of right there. Like, that's the best. They should make a Pixar movie about these penguins. There's a Pixar movie right
called
there.
Happy Feet.
Oh,
That was DreamWorks, wasn't it?
I know it's still. Yeah, they've done the penguins. But that was a
Yeah.
dancing penguin. This is like, this is at least worth a Pixar animated short, like one before a Pixar movie. Anyway, I just
that
thought
was a great man.
so
Thank you.
worth.
That's, you know what? You're bringing good stuff to the table.
Yeah.
This is entertaining stuff to me.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not cynical about it. Like, I thought you were gonna. I was like, this could go either way. James might be
Fantastic.
like, oh, like really cynical, or he might be like, oh, that is the most beautiful thing I've seen.
Lily's been in this room sleeping the whole stream, and I just pulled her over here.
When it comes to animals, though, you're a softie with animals, though, too. Like,
Yeah, definitely the cats. Our cats here.
yeah,
Your
like
dogs. I appreciate your dogs. I think
Oh,
Clooney's a little wild.
but they're like our kids, like, like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just, like they're just that special. So anyway, I just thought the companions thing was worth a shot. And
Would you agree Clooney's a little wild?
Clooney is wild.
He's a wild man.
Clooney's wild. He's
Smart.
very stubborn. He's very, very smart, very stubborn. He doesn't like you to cuddle with him if it's not on his terms. But first thing in the morning, he gets up and he jumps into bed and sleeps between the two of us. And it's actually altruistic. He's not trying to get us up. He used to do it to try and get us up. Now he does it just for enjoyment, because once we get up, he's not rushing out to get up. Like, he just likes it.
That's nice.
So
That's
that's
really
good. I do want to talk about this because and this is a different topic, but I do want to talk about it because the time frame for us to reasonably talk about this is passing. But it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years, James. We were talking a little bit earlier about, it being, a certain amount of time since whatever, but it's been 10 years since Friday by Rebecca Black came out. And I just watched that video again, and it is just pure 2011 magic. And then apparently so she released a remix of Friday, and it's not as good. It's not as good as the first one, in my opinion. Honestly, have you the first one, if you can think of Friday as being the best out of the two versions, the original.
We pull it up, or they're gonna.
Yeah, but well, you know what? Just play a little bit of the original video. We should just play a little bit of the original video.
Yeah, they'll probably claim us.
And then do well, I don't know who owns it now. I don't even know if Arc Music Factory.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't. You want me to?
Well, just play if you play 5 seconds of it, they won't kick us off. I don't think. We were playing movie trailers last year. I think that's what got us into trouble.
Yeah.
So good.
I watched
Oh man.
something of her describing this, and
Poor girl.
apparently she did this because there was another girl at her school that did one of these. She just
Right.
thought it would be fun. Like she wasn't even that
Oh.
like that like
And she blew up.
it was like
it was
it
just,
was like a something to do for fun with her and her friends. These are just
Oh
her
my
friends in
goodness.
the car. They just did
No
like
way.
yeah.
Aw, now you feel bad, eh?
And that
You
makes
know,
me
like
feel bad. So I
makes you feel bad. But we obviously did our cover. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. And we also did our we actually we went one step further and we had a radio tour dedicated to we actually went to the we went to the studio and recorded a proper version, which like I can't even find it. It's on a hard drive somewhere. But and we actually sent it to radio stations. We sent that to radio stations and we actually got spins off of it, like our cover. Like I remember we were seriously recording it in the studio. And but that was a good radio tour. You and I, we bounced station to station and chatted with people about our Friday video. And you know what? If anything, it reminds me of all these different chapters and stages and eras of our career. Like that's just, that's why I was having some nostalgia looking back on some of those videos. I rewatched some older videos that we had put out, viral videos and stuff that we had put out. They didn't really go viral, but anyway, videos that we had put out in that era. And I'm like, wow, like we're 10 years younger. We're like, feel like we're kids still. And it's a totally different era. But that's just it. Like this was our 20th anniversary this year, or this is our 20th anniversary. Because I think we were technically established as a band in 2001. So that's the bigger story. This is March 2021. This month, this year is our 20th anniversary. You and I.
oh
That
feel
that's
like that, but
that's a big deal. We should talk about that next week. 20 years on the road. So that's because I remember we had the Queen's School of Business. They offered to incorporate our little brother company.
Alistair says it's worth a while.
That is worth a while. That's worth a while for sure. We were just a couple little kids, and our dad had connected. Our mom and dad actually had both connected with the Queen's School of Business at our local university here, and they were doing business plans for free for school credit for small businesses in the area. And so they put together a little business plan for us. They got their credit, and they actually incorporated us as the Abrams Brothers Inc. In March of 2001. And that's that. So here we are 20 years later doing a podcast.
That's that.
So
It's also,
that's pretty cool.
that for this show, for this episode, John.
Yeah, that's that.
Another failure.
It was a good episode. Good episode. And
Hopefully
honestly,
people can check it out on the audio versions.
Yes, and we can upload it onto Facebook. And next week maybe I won't wear the bird shirt to not jinx it.
Yeah, it must be because Facebook changed stuff, as you said.
I think that's what it is.
And
Yeah,
so
we'll
I'm
get her
wondering
sorted
if maybe we'll do a test or whatever. I don't know how we'll test it, but I'll go directly to Facebook and then have YouTube and Twitch as the secondaries, because YouTube is our main right now, but maybe Facebook's like, oh, you can't stream here if it's not you're not mainly streaming on Facebook.
They might have changed the terms or whatever.
So
Okay,
I might
that's
try
good.
that
We'll
next
sort it
week,
out.
and then if we have problems, I'll just restart it, or we'll just keep rolling like this. And unfortunately, we'll just do a post on Facebook saying that we're on YouTube.
That's all good.
Thank you guys for sticking
Thank you guys
around.
for hanging with us. And
it was a little smaller crew, but it was a mighty crew. That's what
Mighty
we
crew.
like to say. If we got a small
mighty crew.
crowd, mighty crowd.
for the boys
And
the girls, because we had girls in here too.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'll say it's certainly better than playing at the that place in England, John. It's the
The slaughtered lamb and
no,
Clerkenwell?
no. It's
No,
the
that
other
was
place.
good times.
That was better, but the the one that's
Oh,
in
Dublin Castle.
Dublin
the
Castle.
Dublin Castle.
legendary. U2.
Where the opening band was our crowd.
Amy Winehouse, the late Amy Winehouse.
U2
U2
played here.
Coldplay. The
That's
Abrams
right.
Go and Play. There's 0 people.
Yeah.
The opening band is in
opening
the
band.
crowd.
They're
Quality
literally
not
the opening
quantity,
band. The
Alistair
5
says.
of them were standing in the middle
Listen,
of the room.
guys,
That
we have
was our
lots of
crowd.
stories and stuff like that.
We'll come
20
back on
years.
that one.
Happy 20 years.
Happy 20 years,
And you know
buddy.
what? Then we've gone and played at Big Church, and there's lots and lots of people there. That's a great spot. So we find our spots.
Better spots.
Well, that's it
Everybody
for
does.
today. Thank you, guys. You want to sign her off, Johnny?
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. This was episode 9, Off-Road.